start the discussion, I guess, around an updated tennis court slash pickleball court policy. I have some information here on the background I just wanted to review with the committee, going through to kind of have an understanding of where this is coming from. So the department itself has had increased demands from the public and user groups for outdoor court time, in particular due to the growth of pickleball in the community. As you'll see in our policy that is attached to the, I believe, in your documents, our current guidelines for the use of public courts needs to be updated. For the most part, it's first come, first serve, but we have been getting requests in particular from organized groups looking to book times to operate their programs. The reason why I'm asking for an update to the policy, and I will even, hopefully with the blessing of council, I'm on the right way here, is access needs to be prioritized in an effort not to only provide access to these formalized groups and organizations for their operations, but also for the community as a whole. Just a brief history on pickleball. So it is one of the fastest growing sports in North America. The game pickleball has quickly grown in popularity amongst people of all ages. So school-age children, families, seniors, adults, all are participating in this activity. Basically, it's a cross between badminton, tennis, and table tennis, and they use wood paddles and wiffle ball. It's very low impact, which makes it great for seniors, and it has exploded over the years. So here in Miramichi, actually our department, Community Wellness and Recreation Department, in 2016, started doing drop-in pickleball in our facilities in an effort to provide another opportunity for the community to get out and get active. Since 2016, the growth of pickleball has been driven by community champions, and the list goes on how many there are, but there's a lot of people that are really pushing the growth of pickleball. Interest in the sport grew and demand for access to our facilities, both indoors and outdoors, shortly followed. Times have been allocated in the evenings at the Miramichi Valley Gym 3 to 4 nights per week, and times have also been allocated for daytime programming for seniors, and then also at the Golden Hawk 3 to 4 times a week, and then also sometimes on weekends for drop-ins and the senior groups that are using these facilities. In 2022-2023, the Miramichi Pickleball formally came to existence and also became a member of Pickleball Canada and Pickleball New Brunswick. Currently, they have, I believe, 350 members on their social media page, and in discussions with their president, they have over 200 members as part of their organized group. This group organizes lessons, provides recreational play, instruction, competitive play, and has hosted tournaments here in the community, both indoors and outdoors as well. The city continues to work with this Miramichi Pickleball Club in an effort to provide access to facilities for their members and for the general public. City has provided funding support for the development of designated pickleball courts at Gretna Green, benefiting the community, school, and the pickleball community in general. In 2023, the city developed their first dedicated pickleball court facility, which opened last fall. We'll have to do a formal opening, actually, once we're ready to roll here this spring. And then as part of our proposal for Memorial and Harkins in the concept designs, we've identified pickleball as a main amenity and have put courts as part of that design as well. Basically, the history of the current policy has been first come, first serve for the most part. We have not done schedules other than when people decide they want to book a tournament, and then we'll do some scheduling. But the demand has started to come from these groups. We have formalized groups looking for time. The goals that I have in updating, and the department has in updating the current court allocation, is one, to provide a fair, transparent, and consistent approach to the allocation of the court times, ensure fair and equitable access in terms of court allocation and application of the fees, if any, if we are. It is very low cost to operate some of these courts, so it still may be a review that we don't worry about the operation, but just look at the allocation. And then the other part is to balance access to the community as a whole for freely chosen recreational pursuits, and organizations such as Pickleball Miramichi to provide safe and enjoyable recreational experience. The overall goal here on the allocation policy is to provide access to the general member of the public that might not necessarily be part of a community group. On top of that, also, we're looking at designation of courts. We do have other programs, i.e. tennis, that we have put pickleball court lines on the ones at the Golden Hawk in order to make it a multi-use facility. But we have had some concerns that have been brought forward at in particular, the Miramichi Valley tennis courts with use of pickleball in that facility due to safety concerns with chalk, not being able to access the facility for tennis. So it's basically a balancing here. So the idea is we need to ensure that the needs of both tennis and pickleball players are being met. Available court times and safety concerns, like I just mentioned, have been identified for both pickleball and the tennis communities. The idea is to designate the Miramichi Valley tennis court, or courts to tennis only, the Golden Hawk pickleball courts to pickleball only, which is 2, and the Golden Hawk courts, which currently are recognized as tennis courts, which we've painted lines on as multi-use courts, which provide 2 tennis courts and 4 pickleball courts, and then the proposal. Since the demand has grown, there's been also more courts developed in the community. In particular, as mentioned before, we supported the development of courts at Gretna Green. I believe the Sunny Corner Recreation Association has developed pickleball courts in their community as well. And I have recently had discussions with the Nordine Rec Center, who has been operating pickleball and is formally looking at installing pickleball courts on their outdoor nets, or on their outdoor courts this year. To bring this all back, the benefit of this is just to follow up on our mission statement. So our mission statement for City of Miramichi, which was just passed by Council, is City of Miramichi Wellness and Rec Department will engage residents of Miramichi in meaningful, lifelong recreation experiences that enhance individual and community well-being by providing access to enjoyable, high-quality, sustainable, and accessible recreational experiences. One of our goals and objectives is to provide accessible facilities, inclusive in nature, which allow opportunities across the lifespan. One of the highlights as well on top of this is the Recreation for All overall arching trend in our outdoor rec plan, which states that when planning for recreation, one must consider the broader population. This includes providing services that are affordable and easily accessible to low-income individuals, youth who are left behind to find their own entertainment, families with vehicle transportation, and individuals with mobility challenges. The reason I believe that we need an allocation policy is not just to provide services to these organized groups, but also to be able to balance the time for groups that might not necessarily have the means to be able to be part of that and want to just pick that up as a recreational pursuit. So with the blessing of I guess not the blessing, but my intention here is to develop a policy that will incorporate this and update that tennis court policy to bring it back to, for council for approval in our operations of our tennis court allocations that recognizes balancing the needs of the user groups as well as the public at whole. Thanks.
Gotcha. Thank you very much, Director, and I think that was a good synopsis of the pickleball growth and kind of where we're at. So I guess you're looking for some validation of the process and direction you're going in. So I'll open the floor for any comments, questions, concerns, the process and direction the Director has laid out. Your Worship.
Thank you. Thanks, Director Walsh, for bringing this forward. I love anyway, when we're talking about having to make adjustments because of growth and exciting things moving forward in the community, and that seems to be what this is as well. So it's a natural evolution, and we've gotten to this point. So everything you've said makes sense to me. I guess I would personally validate and agree with the approach of what you kind of mentioned was finding balance between formal groups, entities that would want to use these spaces, and also just general open public use. I used to live actually in Toronto across from a large public tennis court facility. There must have been 12 tennis courts there, and it was sort of along the same lines, like which made sense. Like obviously dedicated user groups want their dedicated time, but then folks like me who just want to go swing a racket every now and then also, should have access to public facilities in that way. So, look forward to seeing what you bring back. It sounds like you're on the right track. Procedurally, I guess I would just ask, if once you have a draft policy, if you want to, maybe get feedback or input from user groups, and also, we could throw it up on the Engage Miramichi to engage the general public. That way we get both sides. Understanding, of course, that user groups typically do want all of it for themselves, and we may not be able to do that. So it's not as though we're looking for them to write our policy, but we want them to be a part of that in all things, understanding that hopefully they'll appreciate the goal is balance. I'm sure they can use it on free public time as well if some of their members. So anyway, look forward to that coming back. We'll be supportive of those efforts, and let's just engage some of the users in that process. And the other procedural thing, I guess, is when it does come back, even if it's starting at standing committee, if we just got it in advance, that would allow us to review it before the meeting, and then we could ideally move it within one meeting rather than getting it and having to delay you a month, because it would probably be your goal, I would imagine, to have it in place for summer. So yeah, supportive and looking forward to seeing that coming.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense in terms of process. Any other comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, thank you very much, Director, and we will call the meeting to adjournment.